to three. Three of us has become four, because I'm delighted to say former cruiserweight world champion Johnny Nelson is in studio with us too. Johnny, good afternoon to you,
good afternoon.
mate.
That was a bit saucy.
Well, yesterday was the same when Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall were in here. We'll get to that, but what do you make about this matchup, Florian Marcoux and Chris Kongo? You'll know both. Different styles, Johnny.
Different styles, and different styles like that make a great fight. I think one's the better boxer than the other, one's a better fighter than the other. I said to Chris outside, if you went to a pub, got 2 pint glasses in your hands, and with somebody else, and you both start swinging, it doesn't matter if you're the better boxer. It's a case of who lands first. And if you get involved in that kind of fight with Marcoux, he's going to do you. So put your ego in check, box him, be smart, beat him when you want to beat him. And what happens is Marcoux draws you in. And you think, I can hit him, I can get him here, and that's where the devil in the detail is. That's where the problem is.
And Johnny, that is the problem with Chris Kongo, is that he does like to get drawn in. Like, although he's a great boxer and he is very slick, he loves having a tear up as well. And that's Marcoux's game. It's an interesting one.
The key to being a champion and a winner is being able to put your emotions, put your ego in check when needed, and let your ego out of the cage when needed. And that it's not just about punching someone, it's about mentally how you approach a fight, how you approach an opponent, how you deal with him in a press conference. This is like boxing foreplay. What we saw earlier on is boxing foreplay. When these guys are in front of each other's face thinking, I'm sick of seeing you. Yeah. This is when you get under each other's skin. Tyson Fury is the best at boxing foreplay. But this point here, these fighters need to understand, this is the making or breaking of how you approach a fight.
Do you feel that this is where a fight's won and lost a lot of the time?
It is,
you know, we were talking about Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall, and the build-up they've had over the last couple of days. It's interesting to get your take on that, actually.
It's about attitude in regards to how you view your opponent. If you don't respect the man that's in front of you, then you're going to get turned over. You know, if the kid can fight. I think with Taylor and Catterall, I think Catterall spooked him. I think because Catterall, every time he sees him, he puts it on him. Whereas usually you should see Taylor's the one that does that. He's a bit spiky, he's a bit spiteful, he's just got a bit of an edge to him. Now he's had to humble down, and so he's trying to play. Brendan called it the old pals act.
But don't you,
being his mate, being familiar with him.
Don't you feel though that Josh Taylor's had to do that because of the approach that he took when he got that decision? And we all know that it was very fortunate that he got that decision, very lucky decision. He lost 9 of the 12 rounds, and the approach that he took turned the public perception against him. And I think that he's now recognised that, and he's thinking, where do I go from here? What do I do from here? Does he need to change it around, or you just think that?
I think I know it's a bit of a strong word, but I think. And I like Josh Taylor, but I think he's a bully of a fighter. But you need to be in certain situations. And I think bullies can't check themselves. They've just got to step back. And I'm telling you now, this is going to be a completely different fight. He's going to have to humble himself, even though he doesn't want to. Instinctively, he'll want to be the bully in the ring, and this way he's going to have a problem.
It didn't boil over yesterday, Simon, as many thought it might. It was thoroughly entertaining, I have to say, and we had a very large audience for it. This was Taylor. I think this was a moment when we asked him, does he dislike Catterall? This was Josh.
No, I don't dislike him. I don't know the guy to dislike him or not, but he just comes across as what I've said. Yes, I've repeated it and I'll stand by it. Yeah.
Jack, do you dislike Josh?
Yeah, he's said a lot of things over the last couple of years. It's been back and forth, and we don't see eye to eye. We're not friends, and I stand by the stuff that I've said.
You still maintain that you should have been given the nod, and it's your hand that should have been raised first time around, Jack?
Yeah, 100%. But again, we're 2 years on from that, and finally we're sat here now when we get the chance to settle it in April.
And on it went. Did that pan out the way you expected yesterday?
Well, yeah,
Simon?
but Jack's got every reason to dislike Josh, because ultimately Jack got discredited before the fight when he fought Josh. Josh had no truck with him. Josh looked across the table at him as if he'd stepped into him. Right? He didn't think he was worthy of being at the same table, gave him no currency whatsoever. Jack puts on a performance, beats him, and then Josh gives him no currency after that fight. So of course Jack's going to dislike it, because he got 4 world titles taken away from him. Josh Taylor maintained his position, so the dynamic is different. My only fear, and Johnny I wonder what you think to this, is I compared it to the Froch-Groves dynamic. When Grovesy got into Froch's head in the first fight, but there was an outcome. Howard Foster got involved in it, and it resulted in a different fight. In the second fight, Groves approached it differently. He was a bit more flash, a bit more ebullient, a bit more full of himself, and he got cleaned out, and he changed the way he was. And Jack has gone from being someone that sat across the table from Josh going, yeah, all right, okay, I have to listen to this. You're the defending champion. You're the one with all the belts, right? This time round, Jack is the one that's on the offensive. He's more aggressive. He's more, and it's a change of style. And it worries me a little bit because the first fight, Jack was prepared. He was the better fighter. I think he hit Josh when he wanted to hit Josh. I think he was the better fighter. I think he won the fight hands down. I think he won it 8 rounds to 4. Right, but this time round, I feel there's difference. Does that make any difference, John?
I think Jack hijacked him the last time. The style of fight was unpredictable. It was herky-jerky, and Josh was
Wrong
like,
shoulder,
all of a
small
sudden he's got
target,
someone in front of him that he thought couldn't beat him. He's like, he's not playing to the invisible rules that are there. Now you've got a fighter in Jack that doesn't think, he believes, he knows he has the beating of Taylor. And this now is down to Taylor's boxing skill. Now, if he has the true skill, he has the ability, then it should come out, he should rise to the top like George Groves and Carl Froch. Otherwise, if you're going in there just to bully someone, get the top side of them, that's gone. So I think his TNT's gone. I think that's where the problem lies.
And I think the difference with the George Groves Cole Froch situation as well was that Cole Froch was getting on top then. He was climbing on top and it looked like he was going to turn it around and he was actually going to stop George Groves. It was a controversial stoppage and Howard Foster done them both a massive favour because they got well paid in the rematch and it created a lot of interest. I think with this one, going into this one, so psychologically, Josh Taylor's looking at this and he's going, he knows he lost that fight. Whatever way you look at it, a fighter knows, Johnny, you'll know, won't you? A fighter knows when he's been beaten. If he would have accepted it and said, listen, the boxing gods were with me, and it was the result went my way, then good. And then they could have put it to bed, got on with it. But I think going into this fight, Josh Taylor's thinking I think Catterall recognises that Taylor knows he's done him and he's got his number and he's playing on that. And that's very difficult for Josh Taylor to overcome that psychological damage because he's going into this fight thinking, I've got the victory, I've got the W by my name. Yeah. But really, did I?
So who wins it, Johnny? Second time around.
I'm going with Catterall. I don't think Taylor's the fighter he was. I think that youth, that arrogance, that spike that he had, that got him to where it got him. I think that is not, his time catches up on all of us. I don't think he's that fighter anymore. Once you know you're in there with somebody that can beat you, it affects your psyche, it affects your approach, it affects your self-belief.